Okay, world travelers, here we are, Nairobi National Park. This is our third day in the city, and here's Frank, our driver. He's our guide through the national park. We started 5:45 early. And, you can see very well in the dark that there's a family of hippos, and there's three crocodiles in that watering hole. The light's going to improve in a minute, so we'll be able to see the rest of the animals a little bit more clearly, but I have to apologize in advance that my camera, which is a 360, doesn't take very good pictures of animals because the lens just they seem much farther away than they really are. So here's a rare sighting of a serval cat just walking down the road. Our guide said you don't see those very often, so we were lucky to see him. There's a monkey in the tree. In the same order necessarily that we saw them, but we added a pair of white rhinos. We saw both white rhinos and black rhinos, but I didn't get a good picture of the black rhinos. So what you see here is a pair of white rhinos. We saw a lot of rhinos today. In the end, you'll see a family of rhinos with a little baby rhino that was absolutely hilarious. We spent about 20 minutes watching them, which I condensed into just a few seconds by speeding it up. But these animals are pretty territorial, so you don't get real close to them. Any closer than this. I mean, this is a Cape buffalo. You can see kind of his rear end is facing us and he's walking away. This is the most dangerous animal on the savannah in terms of the number of people that get killed by them every year. Again, they're territorial and keep your distance. There was several hundred zebras in this herd of zebras. Our guide said they'd migrated out of the park for a while, but now they're back this year in great number. Each striped pattern on the zebra is like a fingerprint. It's different, identifies them differently. Here's another pair of white rhinos. Yeah, so my camera just does not zoom well, and so everything gets grainy if I try zooming much at all. And these animals are actually a lot closer than they appear because of the lens. Okay, we were lucky to get a lioness sighting today. There's a lioness standing there stalking some prey. You can see her ears. She's starting to move right now. She blends in so well that she's very hard to see, and she's actually only about 50 feet away or maybe less, but it seems here that she's a lot farther away than she really is because of the lens again. But she's going to continue stalking in a minute. She's still standing still. So we saw 4 of the big 5 animals today in one day. What we didn't see was the leopard. And in all, we saw more than 25 different animals and birds and whatnot in our roughly 4 hours in the park. So it's a pretty amazing day. And I didn't get pictures of all of them, and some of the smaller ones you couldn't see if I did have any film of them. She's starting to walk now. So you don't see them all in this video in 12 and a half minutes, but it was a very productive day in terms of sighting wildlife. So the big five are lions, elephants, rhinos, Cape buffalo, and leopards. Okay, here's a group of impala. I don't know if you call them a herd or whatever, but there was a bunch of them out there in this section of the savannah. There were also some hartebeests, but I didn't get any good enough pictures of them. They were kind of mingling with the impalas. They have a different horn structure. Now here's the family of white rhinos. They blocked the road for at least 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes. And we watch them. So I sped this up 6 times. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the patience to watch it. There's a male over on the left, a female with a baby on the right. And, eventually some of the 20 or so vehicles that stopped to see this spectacle had to drive off the road to the right and way around in order to get past because they wanted to go on and look at something else. But it's really pretty hilarious watching that little tiny rhino. The guide said that rhino, the little one, was probably about 4 months old. But very challenging. You can see the little one kept coming to the car and challenging us. And the female was very protective of the little one. You'll see the male over on the left in a minute. Every time a car would get close and want to try and get by, the female would grunt and make noises. She didn't like the cars approaching. And finally, they just went off. You can see they went off around over on the right side there. There's the male on the left. And finally, some cars came from the other direction and also had to stop until it was safe to get around them. We finally waited till the male got out of the way and just kept going straight on the road. Some really beautiful giraffes. This one seemed to be just posing for us. And again, because of the camera lens, that animal's a lot closer than it looked. We ended up our day at an elephant orphanage right adjacent to the park. And you'll see some pretty amazing shots of the little baby elephant. But here's a baby giraffe. It was odd that this baby was off by itself. We didn't see any adults near it, which is a little bit dangerous for a baby giraffe to be by itself like this. So here's the Sheldrick Elephant Orphanage. They have 14 orphan elephants, and you get to go in and stand around this fenced off area. They bring in the elephants and they feed them bottles. I think they have to feed them, they said, every 3 or 4 hours. Um, the youngest of the elephants was about 4 months old, and the oldest was probably 3 years old. They said they like to raise them to 3 to 4 years old, and then they reintroduce them into the wild. And they're very well taken care of here. They like to. It's some kind of formula that they're feeding them, and when they're young like this, they have to be fed fairly often, every 3 to 4 hours, as I said. They also like those. I don't know what kind of leaves they eat, but they spread those leaves around the fence so that the elephants would come to the fence, and you can actually pet them and interact with them a little bit. This one over on the left is going to walk right up to me, and they seem to like to be petted. There's a mud hole over there, which they go. Some of them go play in the mud hole, and while we were watching them, there was a guy back there with a microphone and a speaker giving the background of each of the 14 elephants, telling us their name and where they were found and how they were rescued. It was fun. We spent about an hour here in total at the location, and I think probably about a half an hour interacting with these 14 orphans. Anyway, stay tuned. We're headed to the Giraffe Center on our